Artificial intelligence is disrupting every single industry. It is evolving rapidly. Every single week and month that goes by, it is increasing the capabilities, and we are living through a transformation. Elon Musk recently said that this technology is by far the most rapidly evolving technology that he's ever experienced. Jeff Bezos said in a recent interview that he is coming back to Amazon, and what he's doing is artificial intelligence based, that it will be in everything. It's a horizontal enabling layer where every part of operations is going to be impacted, supported in some way by artificial intelligence. So in this video, we're going to discuss different parts all under the banner of the rise of agentic e-commerce platforms. If you've got an Amazon business, an eBay business, if you have a Shopify business, you've got a brand, a reseller, if you're in e-commerce, then this technology is here. And the rise of agentic e-commerce platforms is the next wave of transformation that we're going to see. So I'm going to share with you a number of different topics that we'll discuss from an artificial intelligence perspective. I'm also going to share with you some predictions on what the future will hold based on everything that we've seen in recent years. And I'm super excited to also share with you that over the last 9 months, as we've been talking about agentic e-commerce platforms, we've actually written, and for a pre-release coming soon, there's going to be an ebook available on Kindle on Amazon for you to check out, which I'll put the links down below. So please give it a big thumbs up if you do enjoy this, and hit the subscribe button if you're into artificial intelligence, you're running your business, you are essentially attempting to make it happen, grow to the goals that you have. So first and foremost, what is agentic e-commerce platform? What does this mean? Well, in order to kind of preface this conversation, we have to kind of look back on history. And this is how we've actually started in the book. We've kind of looked back on history and looked at some major transformations that have been experienced. So if you go back over 100 years ago, it was the first wave of the Industrial Revolution, where companies began to introduce machinery, began to introduce technology which allowed factories, that allowed the conveyors, it allowed mass production. Now, the winners of that era, the companies that are like over 100 years old at this point, you think of car manufacturers, you think of a Coca-Cola, being able to mass produce their products, right, at a global scale. Ford, for example, at the time, they were able to introduce a brand new vehicle, and it was more than 50% of the cost compared to its competitors. So when Ford came out and said, you can now buy a car at this price, which is 50% cheaper, the reason why they were able to do that is because the Industrial Revolution. They saw this happening. They invested in the machinery. They essentially allowed their workforce, their teams, they gave them the tools to be able to operate at bigger scales. So the Industrial Revolution changed the future as we kind of knew it, and this happened over the 19th century, the 20th century. Then the next wave that came was the era, or the dawn of the internet. The internet, which essentially connected the entire world. It was the age of the information age. So you could search for anything, you could communicate, you could now send emails, you could now, from a logistical point of view, you're able to work more productively. And this completely changed the world, as you know. At the time, there was an actual a video that you can search on YouTube. I believe it's called like 1994, What is Internet Anyway? And in 1994, nobody had kind of experienced the internet. It was just the dawn of the internet. So it was a brand new technology where now you had the ability to send emails electronically instead of sending letters, or you could now purchase something online where you had to put a credit card detail in and you press a button, and next couple of days then you would have like a parcel that arrived through the post. So the age of the internet, what that did was companies like the Amazons, companies like the Googles, companies like these companies that were fundamental in what the internet is today. So that was like the internet era. Then come early 2000s, and then like 2006, 2007, you've then got the internet allowed the era of social media. Social media, initially when you think of like a MySpace, and then Facebook, then obviously YouTube, and then you've got like all these platforms that we have now, from LinkedIn's to Snapchats to Instagrams. Now was the era of social media. The internet gave the potential for social media to be, where you could now connect with one another, you could now communicate, you can now network, you can now meet somebody who lives on the other side of the world. You can now build communities based on different topics, where if you were a chess player, you can meet other people that play chess, or if you are a photographer, you can go into communities that are other people that like photography. The social media era also changed everything. Throughout these technology shifts, platforms, the internet-based platforms like a Shopify was born. A Shopify that's now got millions of merchants, it's got millions of sites. It now gave the power for e-commerce businesses to build websites where the tools are there. You've got templates, you've got drag and drops, you've got apps where you can plug and drag and install different solutions to different problems on a website. Every single one of these technology shifts, these transformations, what that resulted in, it resulted in a major shift on how commerce happened, how business happened, whether that was the industrial age being able to mass produce, or whether that was the internet being able to reach more people, not just in the town and local area, but now globally. Social media, where you could now advertise, you can now market your products and services on free platforms. These were fundamental, and every single one needed a technology shift, a transformation. This is now where artificial intelligence is that new frontier. It is now the new beginnings of a technology that's going to be disruptive. Artificial intelligence has been spoken about for decades already. Famously, obviously, we've got like the Terminator and Skynet, and what are the potential negatives to artificial intelligence compared to the positives. And there's a big conversation of security risks and what the potential will hold. But over this last couple of years, through the age of OpenAI, you've got now Elon Musk with his with XAI. You've got these companies that have now begun to give artificial intelligence to the public, whether that was through ChatGPT, where you can now ask ChatGPT to write you something, to understand something, to explain something, to do research on something, whereas traditionally on the internet you'd have Google, right? You'd just Google it. You'd say, what does this mean? Or you go on Wikipedia and you can learn and research, and it was all, you could just Google it. Artificial intelligence now allows you to actually, if you get a letter through the door, you can copy and paste that into, you can take a photo, you can share it with artificial intelligence. You can ask it like, what does this letter mean? Explain it to me like I'm, 10 years old. Please create a response to this letter, or you could do research. You can now ask it to create images. You can now ask it to create videos. You can even now, the birth of Operator, where it can actually take action on screen on your behalf. So this is the new frontier. This technology now gives the rise of agentic e-commerce platforms. So what does that mean? Well, what that means is the technology of AI, which can research for you, it can take actions for you, it can create images for you, it can create videos for you, it can take action on your behalf. This is now the opening of a brand new era, where traditionally you would have for example, a Shopify, where you manually have to go in and drag and drop and things of this nature. An Operator can now do that. You can now give it an instruction to say, build out a website, and it will do that for you. It now gives you the ability to collect vast amount of data and give you trends, give you better understanding, deeper strategizing.
Check this out for the power of AI. So this is just an example, but you can see here's last month's sale data from my Amazon store. Could you analyze it thoroughly with visualizations? Recommend specific data-driven strategies to boost next month's sales by 10%. Then just uploaded example Amazon fashion sales for January. It goes through them and analyzes absolutely everything. You can watch it again. Click on watch again. It's now reasoning. It's now working things through. It's essentially working towards the outcome. And then once it does its thinking, once it creates its report, then you can see,
what have we experienced in the past? What does this mean? What can we do? The connection between inputs to outputs is a process, and artificial intelligence can now, at incredible amount of speed and data, can now crunch so much and infinitely take inputs to present an output. This changes absolutely everything, and it's a brand new wave. So just like when the internet came around, and famously, what is internet anyway? People are experiencing going through the same, what is artificial intelligence? What does it mean? What impact will it have? Do I need to be concerned about this? Do I not need to be concerned about this? And it was our belief, and based on everything that we've experienced, I'm sure you have as well, that this isn't going away. This is a new frontier. The reason? Because it's more productive. It's like 100 years ago when you had farmers on the farm using a spade and doing work manually, and now you've got like a combine harvester that can at great vast scales just kind of do all the harvesting on behalf of farmers. The internet came around, which businesses that didn't adapt to the internet, that didn't have an internet presence, they were either forced to or they went out of business. Early adopters to social media, whether that was YouTube or whether that was Facebook, they now had vast reach to market their products and services. Artificial intelligence now has the ability to review what you're currently doing. It has the ability to make things more productive, right? It can create blog posts, it can create images, it can create your, advertising images, it can create video, it can do so much. And we are just at the rise, right? The dawn. We are literally only a matter of months in, and it's exponentially growing. So an agentic e-commerce platform is the vision of a fully autonomous e-commerce business where it can be operated autonomously, automatically, based on instructions and strategy. Which, if you think your e-commerce business, let's say you've got an Amazon FBA, a wholesale business, when you think of sourcing products, potential suppliers, when you think of reviewing products, should I purchase this, should I not purchase this? When you think of purchasing products, when you think of fulfillment, when you think of selling, whether it's on one platform or other platforms, having agents within an e-commerce business which can review, it can research suppliers at a vast scale. It can review data points, whether this is a potential lead or not a lead. Massive data points. When you think that it can now start to make bookings at reservations or Airbnb, Airbnbs or meals, restaurants, it will now be able to get to a point where, am I placing an order from my supplier or not? When you think of what Elon Musk is doing from an Optimus robots, he believes that is going to be the greatest and most impactful product that the world has ever seen. Everybody's going to have a robot side by side in their homes. Alexa's going to come to life, where if you ask it to cut the grass, it will cut the grass. If you ask it to build a pallet, it's going to build a pallet. When you ask it to load a vehicle, a lorry, an Arctic, a van, it's going to be able to do that. So an agentic e-commerce platform is a new way of thinking. It's a new approach to what over this next sort of 2, 3, 4 years can truly be. If you think of nearly 2 years ago, it was only chat-based. Now you can speak to it. You now can upload images. You can now ask it to do more things. And as it becomes more and more in the virtual world and starts to be in every sort of function of online, the internet, when we have the breakout of into the physical world, where Tesla now have autonomous vehicles, where Optimus will be able to come into the real world and help with gardening, with housekeeping, with warehousing. This is a new frontier. And that's why I believe, and I'm sure you do too, the fact that we're having this conversation together, we can't ignore it. We have to change our thinking. We have to think AI first, and becoming an AI first business that can help and unleash our teams, that can support the teams, just like giving the tools in the industrial age, the machinery, giving the workers the ability to use machines, or farmers the ability to use combine harvesters, or the internet. If you think of like graphics, Canva, giving graphics designer tools like that to be able to speed up their work, artificial intelligence is here as well. So the rise of agentic e-commerce platforms is here. We are on the rising edge. And if you're interested, we're going to have a brand new book where we introduce this. We're going to cover history. We're going to cover what it means. We're going to give it, philosophies of AI first, how to deploy AI, how to find AI opportunities, what this next 1,000 days could look like, what the world would look like once we have a fully agentic e-commerce platforms. You know, if we would have said in 1994 that Shopify would be a thing, people wouldn't have believed you, because they were, it was clunky. You had to code, you have to have a degree in programming. Whereas now, everyday users that are not programmers, that don't have the skill set, the history of knowledge, they are able to click a button and got a website within 5 minutes. So it's exciting, it's scary, it's uncertain. We don't know where what the fallout is going to be, but we do know building business, introducing AI where possible is a necessity, and it will give you an advantage. It will give you, as we transition through this transformation, the more you deploy, the more you get into the new world, it will give you a head start. So down below is going to be a brand new pre-order for a brand new Kindle book. If you're watching this in the future, it will most likely be available. It's very inexpensive. It will give you a great introduction. It will give you this understanding of everything that we've spoken about. And we'd love to know what your thoughts are. So my name's Kev. I hope you've enjoyed this. Please give it a big thumbs up. Please hit the subscribe button. The Rise of Agentic Ecommerce platform is here. It's in everyday life, in our phones. It's on the Amazon marketplace. AI is here to stay, and it is rapidly improving, and now is the time for us to take action on it. As always, my name's Kev, inspiring you every single day to keep taking massive action.